I gotta fix the lighting, which basically means screwing in light bulbs. Okay, I'm done. Hello everybody. I'm Stanley. I am back for Stanley's Challenge. This is the first episode, basically. I'm going to be reviewing Heart of Darkness, but I'm going to have to read the ending of Heart of Darkness to get myself a good opinion of it, so we're just going to go ahead. The last word he pronounced was, your name. I heard a light sigh, and then my heart stood still, stopped dead short by an exulting and terrible cry, by the cry of inconceivable triumph and of unspeakable pain. I knew it. I was sure. She knew. She was sure. I heard her weeping. She had hidden her face in her hands. It seemed to me that the house would collapse before I could escape, that the heavens would fall upon my head, but nothing happened. The heavens do not fall for such a trifle. Would they have fallen, I wonder, if I had rendered Kurtz that justice which was his due? Hadn't he said he only wanted justice? But I couldn't. I could not tell her. It would have been too dark. Too dark altogether. Marlowe ceased and sat apart, indistinct and silent, in the pose of a meditating Buddha. Nothing moved for a time. We have lost the first of the ebbs, said the director suddenly. I raised my head. The offing was bared by a black bank of clouds, and the tranquil waterway leading to the uttermost ends of the earth flowed somber under an overcast sky. Seemed to lead into the heart of an immense darkness. What was that? Okay, so over the past week, I read this book, and I can't exactly say that I enjoyed it wholeheartedly. The storytelling was quite something. When I started reading this book on Sunday, I was like, I'm going to finish it in like 2 days, because look how short it is. But it is literally one of the most exhausting reading experiences I have ever had. And for those of you who haven't read the book, you should, just for the sake of the challenge. But I'm going to spoil literally everything about this book, so you need to turn off the video. If you just want my rating of the book, I'm going to end it right here with my rating. Rating for this book is a 6 out of 10. Now, if you think that 6 out of 10 is more of a negative rating, because, you know, in a testing environment it's a 60, but my 6 out of 10 is most people's 7 out of 10. So just take that as you will. You can skip to this part of the video if you don't want the spoilers. I'm just going to give you the ratings at the very end and the announcement for the next book. So, Heart of Darkness is about a man named Marlowe, our narrator, who is telling a story on a ship in the Congo about his experiences in the Congo. Let me check. Is it in the Congo? Let me see. Let me give a quick little analysis. No, it's not. It's in it's in England. Or I don't know. You might be making fun of me right now because I don't really understand this book, I'm going to explain to you why I don't understand this book. One of the main reasons is that this is probably one of the most exhaustive reading experiences I've ever had. It's only 80 pages, but it felt like a taxing book in, like, the most sense. It literally had more figurative language in any book that I've ever read since the Bible. But the difference between the Bible's figurative language and Heart of Darkness's figurative language is that in the Bible it's more interpreted for you and you can kind of understand what's going on. In Heart of Darkness, you have no safety net. You have to jump in and just expect to understand everything. Then you're not going to get it. I say this book is the equivalent of Primer if it wasn't supernatural, where the movie isn't good until you digest it, which is how Heart of Darkness was. I feel like my experience reading Heart of Darkness wasn't so much in reading of the book, but thinking about the book after. Like, I mean, you just saw me finish it, and my first reaction was, what? Like, most of the time, Marlowe, our narrator, most of the time didn't really seem to care, which seems like a normal thing, but it kind of took away from the storytelling. There are several moments that didn't seem significant just based on Marlowe's apathy towards them. For example, towards the end of the book, the helmsman, who is a cannibal, is shot by the people outside of the boat while they go to Kurt's station, and you're expected to care about this character without having any sort of development of him. And people can argue, yes, there was development after he died, but it didn't really have any emotional resonance, and the sad part is that I don't know if that's what Joseph Conrad intended. I just know how I felt about it. And in digesting Heart of Darkness, it's actually a little bit better than when you're just reading it, Because if we had taken it from a standpoint of when I was reading it, it was a 4 out of 10. Because half the time I wasn't understanding anything that was happening, and I was missing things just because of how figurative the language was. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just means the book wasn't for me. And this is a definitive example of books being tastes, just like chicken or beef, you know? Chicken can be extremely well done and beautifully made, but it's based on who's cooking it and how it's cooked. And I feel like this is a great argument for Heart of Darkness. The storytelling was very bizarre and kind of distracting to the overall, I would say, message or more plot of this book. The story was told in a more digestible way. I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. I understand that this book was written in 1896, so of course it's not going to have exact parallels with language as we have it now. And I did read the unabridged version, so I'm guessing that might have been part of it. But I really don't think it has a pass in our modern generation based on when it was written. Like, you don't make a food and then eat it and not like it, and someone tells you you should respect the time it was made in, because that doesn't matter. It's all about how you digest and how you eat the food. Heart of Darkness is a grand example of this, that a great plot, a fantastic story, told in the most convoluted way that any book I've ever read, honestly. And I really disrespect my own choice not to put this book towards the end of the list, because I feel like I would be able to digest it a lot better with more experience digesting books like this, but I didn't because it was the first on my list. Now, since I've been talking about all the negative things about Heart of Darkness, I thought I would tell you a couple positive things about it. Because there were several scenes in Heart of Darkness that I don't think I've ever seen in any other book, and a lot of things that were very well done. One scene in particular that I extremely enjoyed, and seemed like a payoff for the apathetic tone of the book, is a scene in which Marlowe is describing these knobs that are on top of a fence post, but not really because there's no post to the fence. He's talking about these little wooden knobs as he goes past them, but as he examines them closer, they become human heads. Not become, they are human heads, but he's noticing it now. He kind of glosses over it and then just simply mentions these heads on a stake, and I thought it was a great way to reveal that, and it was very unique in that. Also, moments with Kurtz and the Russian with the patchwork that I extremely enjoyed, and a lot of the dialogue was very original, is the best word I can use for it. But otherwise, the book all around was very convoluted, and a lot of the things that were said didn't need to be said, and a lot of the things that weren't said needed to be said. And I'm not saying that Joseph Conrad is anything but a fantastic writer. I'm sure that at the time it was revolutionary, but now it's getting a 6 out of 10 from Stanley's Challenge. And this was book 1, and I am actually happy that I got through book 1 because I honestly didn't think I could. Anyways, welcome back from the spoiler section. So I just want to talk about what I'm doing, well, actually it's tomorrow. I was expecting to read this book and finish it earlier, but because of the way it was written as walls of text, I didn't finish it as quickly as I thought I would. So tomorrow I'm going to be starting... Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's back there. Oh, Lord. Okay, now I'm close to the microphone. Just grab that. Okay, great. I realized that in my first video I did say Mitch Albom instead of Mitch Albom. Also, I'm just going to show it. But, yeah, tomorrow I start reading this, the second book. As far as the rest of this channel goes, thank you for watching the first week. You can start this book tomorrow, but I don't think many people are. But anyways, I'm going to go get my calendar and erase a week off here. Let's go. Okay, I'm just going to do it from over here. That's great. Heart of Darkness. Let's just get that off of here. So thank you for watching this episode of Stanley's Challenge. This is Heart of Darkness. I am Stanley, and I will see you tomorrow if our paths cross again. Winky face. I am so bad at winking. I have to say something funny right now while I do this, because I did last time, and people like tradition. Okay, are you gonna come up, or you can come up now? That'd be great. Thank you.